Where you go?
Today, within Central La to then hear some concerns that youngsters of the town have in relation to misappropriation of their lands and also how government has related to them in ways that they deem inappropriate. So just relax. First of all, we shall hear from leader of the coalition of La Youth Associations. Many of their youngsters are right here wearing red bands to really show that they are not happy at all with the way and manner in which government has really dealt with some of their concerns. So let's hear from Ni Amwa Gogo as he addresses the press on their concerns.
The title of our press statement today is the failing promises of the Nana Akufo-Addo government to the people of La and the Gadangbe. In commitment to his promises, the President, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo Dankwa, reiterated the pertinence of his pledge in June 2017 during a Grand Durban organized in his honor by the paramounts of La, Tashin, and Nungwa, where he again stated that till date he has not received any petition from the people of La and the Gadangbe people at large. Though, on the contrary, the caller had in May 2017 sent a petition to the presidency through the office of the vice president. The president on this fateful day made an additional pledge of creating a separate municipality for the Nungwas. And in all sincerity, this particular promise has been fulfilled and therefore worthy of acknowledgement and commendation. Though the paramount issue about the release of lands is yet to see the light of day. Following the Durban, series of petitions from the La Traditional Council were sent to the presidency. And to date, there has never been any response. It is on record that the petition was sent on the 29th December 2017, 14 February 2018, April 2018, etc., etc. We are again dismayed at addition of salt to our injuries through the following actions of gross insubordination, not only to our eminent chiefs, but to the entire Gadangbe people. We have it on record that the traditional council members were firstly invited to a salt curtain ceremony for a construction of a clinic at Che Ado. And as usual, our authorities, being noted for their act in collaborating with the government in development, readily waited in vain. Secondly, as if the earlier insult was not enough, the traditional authorities were invited for another salt curtain ceremony, this time for the construction of a drainage system at the Adembra electoral area, where our revered authorities were again subjected to cruel suspense unendingly. The last straw to break the camel's back was the one-year anniversary that was organized by the military in honor of the late Major Maxwell Mahama, with a purported statue being erected on our land, a land that does not belong to you in the first place. How can a perching bird become the owner of the tree to dictate the pace of development? Was Major Mahama not ailing from a certain traditional area to be handed there? Do we have a responsible defense minister at all? Since it was on record that a common guinea fowl sparked brutality in a certain backyard, is the minister taking us for granted? After superintending the unnecessary stealing more lands illegally for the military in recent times, and knowing for the fact that those lands were under dispute and several cases of court action on them, apart from the unnecessary construction of the so-called military cemetery, when the whole last cemetery is getting full. Furthermore, as a military hierarchy, have you considered that in the history of Ghana there is a more hero in the name of Sergeant Ajete in La, who deserves better than your worshipping hero? By the way, you are coming to visit the traditional authority with a strong arm of security delegation has been a facade, since all the promises made had been in vain. We would want to use this medium to tell the Akufo-Addo-led government that we don't, and we would not want to join the singing chorus, Nana Adadayeng, Nana Elakawo, to which Nana has deceived us, though that is a true reflection on the ground. We want our lands back now and not tomorrow. The recent upset of government interest in our beaches through the irresponsible actions of the military led by Colonel Apenkwa and his cohorts with guns, weapons, ammunition, etc., causing mayhem and demolition of properties at the Laboma Beach, where a lot of investments have been made. We will want to put in on record that the same Colonel Apenkwa has written to the Lands Commission to compulsorily acquire land, or the said land. Since when did the military start compulsorily acquiring lands in Ghana? Is it the military galamsey or a military landguardism? We, the people of La, being at the center of Accra and middle of Gadangbe geopolitics, have a very wonderful history of gallantry, assertion, and in the current dispensation, constitutional aggression. When the red cockerel crows, the entire Gadangbe land sniffs and awakes, for we never give up. Mr. President, in all humility and respect, the grace period of 1.5 years is more than enough for the promises made to us to be made good. We shall advise ourselves accordingly, and when we do, we shall go the extra mile, more than we did in the Eswa John Mahama's administration, who continuously refused to listen to his children, who on their bended knees begged for the stay of execution of the selling and looting of our lands indiscriminately. And ultimately, the giver of thrones, Almighty God, removed him from the throne. Our lands shall no longer be sold like kelewele and toffees, nor looted and diversified into private franchise and properties anymore. Demands. Finally, Mr. President, Your Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, we humbly demand the following. 1. Expedition of action on all the petitions before you. 2. Sanction the Minister of Defense for his actions of gross insubordinations to the chiefs and the people of La, and for the illegal annexation of land for the military. Of full compensation and equity agreement between government and the people of La for all lands acquired by government. We also asking for total withdrawal of government interest in our beaches, especially Laboma Beach, without proper negotiations with the chiefs and people of La. We are by this press conference serving notice that no further notice will be required for an all-out action should we not hear favorably from the presidency. And also, we shall find all appropriate means of resolving these matters one way or the other before this year's Omowas celebrations. Right, so you've heard from Nii Amoah-Gogo, and he's tabled their demands and shared his concerns to you. One other person, well, he is with the National Democratic Congress, a native of La. We have members of the ruling government, that's New Patriotic Party, being here, as well as members of the opposition. So let's hear from Derrick Adjei, as he also shares some of the concerns with you.
In fact, if you look to my left, the brother who is also granting an interview in Twi is Oscar Nii Odoi Glover. He's an MPP member who stood for the parliamentary candidature of MPP in La. I am an NDC member, and I rose to the position of a presidential staffer under the previous administration. This is not politics. This is not NDC nor MPP. This is about La and the right thing that needs to be done for the people of Ghana. We believe that fairness and equity should guide every president. Every government must do what is fair to the people of Ghana, no matter where they come from. What is good for the Ashanti is good for the Chim, and is good for the La person. And so, if the lands of Ghana are vested in the president, whoever the president is, he must make sure that that land is excised for the benefit of all Ghanaians, particularly the landowners. And that's why the constitution is very clear as to how you acquire lands and how you dissipate lands. And the president has also refused, as commander-in-chief, to bring the army to book. Today, the military has had the audacity to march to the beach, They have taken the lands and now they are taking our beaches. Where do they want the people of La to stay? You can look around La and see the deprivation, the starvation that confronts our people. How can we live in a country and allow for this to continue? Enough is enough. We will not have our lands played with. Our lands are not Kelewele or Toffee. And we are saying to Enosa, we are saying to John Peter Amewu, whether past or present Minister for Lands, that our lands are not for joke. Our ancestors fought and toiled for us to have this land. We are at liberty to help the Ghana nation to build. Indeed, we gave lands for the University of Ghana, the airports, and almost everything that is in Ghana is on our land. We believe very strongly that the trade fair can become the hub for development in La. Why is it still where it is? Why has it not been developed? What is stopping the current administration from continuing the trade fair so that people of La will get jobs? That is what our people need. They don't need turmoil. They don't need turmoil. They need jobs. So we are employing the president today. If he has the people of La at heart, the trade fair must start tomorrow.
They did not mind us. They did not talk to us. They ignored us. And we had a little demonstration to prove to the whole of the Ghana land. And I think that went a long way to bring down the Amama administration. Now we have started a similar thing, still seeking for the same thing, because what we started, we've not yet received what we are asking for. Now, as I stand here, I know, and as of yesterday, there has been something in the pipeline where the president have asked that there is a committee which should be set, and that committee is meeting him. Committee from the lands, the military, the La youth, and then the chieftaincy in La, so that we sit and deliberate on this issue. So there is something in the pipeline which is coming. But this is because I'm a party member, that's why I know. It has not come into light. But once a new government is in power, we expected that, as at now, with the letters from our chiefs, the letters from we the youth, we expected that the party will at least consent to our letters. We've not heard of anything. That is the reason why we are calling on the government now that if he's not realized, we are there.
We shall continue to follow up and then keep you updated in due time. But till then, my name is Gabriel Nioboda Itogbo Ashon reporting. Bye-bye for now.